Namaste, my name is Dhieyo and welcome to my channel. Today I'll tell you a practice which is done on the soul level. Most of the practices that we do is done here on a physical body so that we can have a spiritual experience. This practice is done on a soul level, it's done in the spirit world so that the human form of that soul can have a different experience. But not everything that's different is good, so that experience can be good, bad and ugly. I'll tell you a little more about it and you can see accordingly to your life path how you need to change around, move around, what you need to do with this practice. This practice is usually frowned upon. Some people ridicule it. Some people, because of their ego, say, no, this is not even possible. And we are here to learn and grow and a whole lot of things. But it's important everyone knows about this practice and you can decide for yourself whether you want to do it or you don't want to do it. But at least you should know about it. So, like I said, most of the practices that we do is done here on our physical body to have a spiritual experience. This practice is done right from the spirit world. Now, from all of us will agree to it. Either it's happened with you or somebody you know, or even if you've probably read about it, somebody or the other who's extremely extraordinary. These could be doctors, these could be engineers, these could be businessmen, artists, name it. Anybody who's doing an extraordinary job. If you see their past in their childhood, like probably 10 years back, 5 years back, 20 years back, in their past, they were just ordinary people. They were ordinary students, they were ordinary musicians, they were ordinary writers. Somebody had no business sense, never went to a business school, but then some shift happens and these guys become extraordinary. From ordinary to extraordinary, this shift happens. There's certain people who are going through a lot of addiction, and all of a sudden this person says, and something came inside me and I was like, I fought my addiction and I've come out of it, so something extraordinary has happened. So these same people, if you see, like, let's say for an example, an artist who's really famous and is making a lot of money starts getting into depression, they cannot hold on to it. So what is happening to their physical form? What is happening to their soul at that time? These are the things that I will tell you about now. But to make everyone understand in an easier way, I'll give you an example. This example will help all of us understand and accept this fact in a much more easier way. So like there's this race that happens of automobiles. It's called the endurance race, where there'll be one car with 4 different drivers. Sometimes it's 2, sometimes it's 4, and it goes on for about 24 hours and sometimes even more, where this car keeps taking a lap again and again, and from time to time a driver is changed. A new driver comes and drives the car to a different capacity to what the car can do. These drivers have their own experience. These drivers are chosen out of all the other drivers. These 4 drivers are chosen for the job. These companies know exactly what they're doing. The car can only do that much. So the saying, it's not the car that wins a race, it's always a driver, that's a fact. So these drivers, in their own capacity and experience, push the limit of this car to do something different, eventually deciding whoever wins the race. So this is what a soul shift practice is. This practice is called a soul shift. So now our body is that car. We have 4 different souls, 5 different souls, 6 different souls, depending on who's coming inside first, will have their own experience. So now let's say there's a soul which has an experience of certain amount of intelligence that they can do with this body. That's when this soul is there in the childhood, trying to understand, trying to push this body to a certain level, push this car to a certain level. This is our childhood, where we are growing up, studying, understanding things, nothing much happening. Then another driver comes in. This driver takes it to another level altogether. Suddenly there's name, fame, success, or the other side of it. But let's just stick to the good part of it for now. Name, fame, success, everything starts coming. The best business, the best musician, the best artist, the best relationship starts happening. This is the job of the second driver. Now what happens is this driver can only push it to that level. So let's say for an example, if it is an artist, this artist has found all their name, fame, success through music and everything because this soul has that experience to take this body to that level. But can it sustain it after that? No, it cannot. So it is important at that time that the soul says, okay, now I'm ready to leave this experience and have the other soul come inside this body and take it to another experience where they can sustain the name, fame, success, everything that this body has now experienced. So another soul who has that experience that, okay, in my previous experiences of coming on this planet, I've experienced that name, fame, success. I know how to handle it. So yeah, my friend, you the driver, you come out, let me go in. But it's important that that driver, the second driver who's got that name, fame, success, leaves When they don't leave, this is where the problem happens. This is why, if you've noticed, so many artists, musicians, successful people, after getting all their name, fame, success, cannot handle it anymore, and they end up losing their lives, sadly, or even worse sometimes, get into a lot of different troubles. So this is why a soul shift happens. So a soul shift can happen either you've decided all these stages that, okay, stage 1 you go, stage 2 you go, stage 3 you go, stage 4 you go. These are different stages that you've already decided in the spirit world, that, okay, this is what we are going to go and do. And this is not something done on like, okay, let's go have fun for it. No, you're doing this to make a difference. All these people who are extraordinary are making a difference on this planet in their own capacity, like I said, in their own field. So it's not your talent that, okay, this person is so talented, he's a good musician, this person is very talented, very skilled with the business. No, that's that soul's experience that's taking this body to that level. Like I said, like those drivers have their own experience to push this car to that level. So this is how they decide what they're doing. So most of the time, none of us even know about what is happening. And we start giving the credit to ourselves that, yeah, I was an alcoholic, I was a drug addict, and I fought myself and I came out of it. No, that was the other soul shift that happened. The soul that was inside at that time, was going through that addiction, spoke to the other soul, had that communication that, yeah, I can't do this anymore. I want you to come in now. I'm ready to leave this addiction. I'm ready to leave this experience now. When they cannot, when they're enjoying in that suffering and is stuck in that place and they're refusing to go, is when bad things start happening to this body. So that understanding of each soul is so strong at that time. It is important to leave this body at that time, and the other soul comes and takes over. This is why I said a lot of people don't believe in it. They say, no, this is my soul, my body. It's like that car driver saying that, no, this is my car. No, it's not your car, it's the company's car. Once your job is done, you'll be out from here. The car will be there rotting. Nobody will even look at that car after some time. It'll be probably in a museum, or it'll be in a car graveyard. So this is exactly what is happening with us. This is why a lot of children who are they're like child prodigies, but the minute they grow up in their teenagers, they lose out everything. They don't want to play music anymore, they don't want to act anymore, they don't want to study anymore, where they were brilliant at one point. So this is when a soul shift has happened. Now that experience of that soul could only take that body to that amount of level. After that, a soul shift should have happened, which doesn't happen because that soul who's now experienced that little bit of a thing is refusing to leave that body, is refusing to leave that car, like I said. So this practice is called a soul shift. This naturally happens to a lot of people when they cannot take emotional or physical pain, extreme emotional or physical pain. This is why a lot of people, when they meet with an accident and they're out from that accident, they've come out with some different talent altogether. They've come out with some business ideas, and here we think that, okay, they hit their head and a nerve thing happened and this is why they started getting all those. No, another soul shift happened. This soul said, I cannot take this pain that I'm going through right now. I want you to come and take over. So the new soul comes over, the body heals, rectifies, and there's a new talent to the soul altogether. The ones who don't start suffering, then they're in that body, they go in coma, they refuse to leave the body. So a soul shift is also important. So now at this stage of your life, if you want to make a good name, a career out of yourself, and you're wondering that, okay, why? I've got all the talent, but why is it not happening? Because sometimes it's just not talent. You need to be a good businessman, a businesswoman. You need to know how to sell your art. You need to know how to sell your business, pitch it to the right people, have the courage. But the artist soul that is inside you is not capable for it. That artist soul is only capable for creating music, creating the business, creating the relationship, but to sustain it, to sell it, that other soul needs to come in. So this is when you can consciously sit down and speak to that other soul that, okay, I have got this body till here, now I'm ready to leave and I want you to come and take over. This is why a lot of musicians, a lot of artists, a lot of people will say that just before we go on stage, something else comes inside us and we go and perform like there's no end to it. But the minute the show is over, they get back and they're really quiet. A lot of people who do a lot of blabbering, a lot of talking, a lot of speeches, a lot of public speaking, but when you meet them in person, they're extremely quiet. Because just before they're going up there on the stage to talk, perform, or whatever it is, pitch the business deal, there's something else that comes in. So now you can do this consciously also. Let's say you're going through your addictions, you can't handle it anymore. You ask for a soul shift. Say, I've come till here now, I want you to take over and take me out of this mess that I am in. This body is in. even in your business, any field that you are in. It could be in your relationship, it could be in your health, money, finances. This is called a soul shift. This is what the practice is. It's done on a soul level. So like I said, a lot of people don't believe in it, but now you at least know why things are not working for you. You've got the talent, you've got the skill, you're an amazing person, but you've got a bad relationship problem. This is what is happening. You need to ask for a soul shift, that this body can now be taken to another level. So yeah, feel free to try it out. It's not scary. Some people might say that, okay, this is very scary, and yes, it can be scary when you don't know why it's happening. This is why a lot of people, a great guy, somebody who's really nice, has got into the wrong field, has got into drugs, alcohol, and we all are wondering that what happened to this guy. A few years back he was the best guy, she was the best girl, but now she's got into the wrong direction altogether. This is why they don't know what is happening. Another soul has come inside them who's taking them to the wrong direction. So if this is all happening with you and you're wondering, this is why it is happening. So you can act accordingly. Please make use of it. If you like this video, give it a like, subscribe to my channel. Until I see you again, have a good life. Namaste.